All right, super pleased to be joined by the pride of Pittsfield, Miss Chandler Hayden, whose freshman season throwing at the University of Tennessee didn't last nearly as long as would have hoped, but what a start it was for Chandler. Her indoor season was fantastic. And Chandler, you go out your very first meet, you shatter the freshman throws record. What does that do for your confidence, I guess, from that point forward?
Honestly, it really put my confidence high because I knew I wanted to do some big things in the NCAA. Coming from a small school, I like that I am able to make an impact and kind of get my name out there and make my mark. And it really set the bar high for the rest of the season, which I think was really needed.
You had, I think if I remember right, you did have a third place finish somewhere along the line as well, which, I mean, it wasn't just against your own marks. You were really competing well right from the get. What was the key to that, you think? Was there any sort of, and you touched on it, maybe hinted at it a little bit, just a little bit of nervousness going into the season, kind of not knowing where you stood?
Yeah, so my first meet, I only had 2 other competitors, one of being my teammate, so it was kind of like a practice. And I just went in there and I threw. I really didn't have any expectations because it was my first college meet. And the rest of them, then my expectations went up a lot. So that brought a lot of nerves because I really just wanted to go in there and, like, win every single meet. So that kind of got into my mental headspace. And during my middle season, it wasn't as well as I had hoped it would have been. But at the end, at the SEC meet, I pulled through and got my mental space right and really just left it all out there. So,
From the standpoint of not having outdoor, how much does that kind of, and you've all talked about, you're kind of those people who it's all up here in the mind with you. How much does that kind of mess with you, set you back, or are you trying to make a positive out of it? Because I know that had to be incredibly disappointing because you did have momentum working.
I'm actually so excited because it gives me a chance to get a whole lot stronger, considering that next year I will be a freshman for my outdoor season and a sophomore for my indoor season. So that means I can hopefully break that freshman outdoor record for the hammer and just absolutely demolish it. And I'm super excited for that. And I'm super excited to have my teammates back because we have such a good chemistry together and we get to add more people to it. So that's really exciting as well.
I saw some crazy video of you at a track meet early, and I'm not going to tell you who showed me, but it was a ridiculous amount of squat poundage that you were able to do. Can I ask, what's the squat max? What's your record at this point, your PR?
Right now, my squat max is 355. I don't even know how I did that because that lift was actually insane. I woke up that morning. I had no idea what I was going to do that day. I knew we were doing max outs. And so I just kind of went in there, and it wasn't with my whole team because I was leaving that day to come back home for fall break. And so we were in there, and it was just me, one other teammate, 2 strength coaches, and my coach. So the energy wasn't as high as it had normally been. But I went in there, and I don't know. I just did what my coach told me to do. I honestly didn't know how much weight was on there. I don't usually know how much weight's on there. I usually just lift it and do what he tells me to do. I feel like that's a lot better because if I know what's on there, then my mind's like, oh, good luck, But, yeah, it was hard. It was difficult.
This adjustment to college for you, just in turn, because you went from Pike County, Illinois, all the way to, Knoxville, to this massive SEC powerhouse school. And what was that like? I mean, was there any culture shock for you at all?
I grew up in a small town, but I went over to a club over in Troy, Missouri, and I grew up with a lot of throwers there and made some really good friends. I were a couple girls, and 2 of the girls actually are in the SEC right now. One's at Alabama and one's at Auburn. So I knew some people. But I just had to have the mindset that I'm here. I've obviously made my way here for a reason, and I might as well show out what I can do. And I think the fact that I came from such a small school just meant more because a lot of people who are in the NCAA come from schools that have like 2,000 kids per grade, and here I am telling them I had 60 kids in my grade and I was not a private school, and they are just amazed by that. But I think it makes it all the better that I came from a smaller school. It really just, I don't know, it's special to me. It's always been special to me.
These are really crazy times with the pandemic and everything going on in the world. And I don't know if you saw the news yesterday, but there's already talk that the California schools and the NCAA aren't be able to go in fall. How do you find yourself, Chandler, just watching the headlines and hoping that, that we get some sense of normalcy, because you are somebody who's on track to do some really special things. And I don't think any athlete wants these setbacks, particularly in the timing.
Yeah, our school actually is already going to be open, and they announced that we're going to be open for the fall time. Obviously, I feel like it's not going to be the same, and I don't know how exactly it's going to change or what is going to be different, but I'm excited, kind of nervous to go back because now, I don't know, our fall training is the hardest part for us. We take it really seriously, have a lot of conditioning, a lot of running. I'm not a runner, so it kind of gets hard, but I'm really excited to see what changes are made and just having like a lot of my team back. Like I said, the chemistry with our team is so amazing. Our coaches are amazing. And so to be able to have some of those seniors back is really exciting.
You kind of touched on it. You saw the interview we did with Manning Plater. Jordan Johnson and Elijah Barnes are both at Iowa. You're at Tennessee. I mean, that's a really large cross-section of area throwing Division I. I mean, that says an awful lot, doesn't it, about the quality of folks we're producing right here in the Tri-States?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I think it's because we all come from farm towns and we grow up with a strong mentality. And throwing isn't something that a lot of kids usually want to do in middle school. But I think that we've all made a name for ourselves to the youth that throwing is like really serious and you can go really far with it. And I think that's super exciting because I know my grade school, I've seen a mass amount of throwers like join. I don't know if it's due to the fact that I've done so well or just they've seen the areas, what they've done, but that's really exciting. And I'm really excited to see who else is going to go big because I know it's not just going to be us.
Last one for you, Miss Chandler. What is the best thing that you'd like to see yourself improve? Because I know you have these incredibly lofty goals. Where do you look and you say, okay, this is what I need to fix to make that next step next year going forward? Hopefully we get indoor season when it's supposed to be and outdoor season when it's supposed to be.
It's mentality. It really is. Like every single thing that I do is mentality, and that might not be the same for everybody, but my mentality hasn't always been the best, but freshman year's under my belt. I know what to do now. The fact that I came out with a PR, a new freshman record at the SEC meet, the biggest meet I had been to ever in my whole entire life, really showed me and was kind of like the blueprint for what my mentality needs to be and where my headspace needs to be for each meet. And of course, I want to be hitting a lot more numbers in the weight room. I think that's so fun to see girls who can lift a lot because it's just something you don't normally see. And it's just not typical to see a lot of girls, lifting 355 pounds on their back or just anything like that. And I think it's super empowering for young girls too, just to be able to see that. And I love to be that person for everybody. So that's what I'm excited for.